Viewer, welcome to SGL Spiritual Guiding Light. I'll wait for some of you to come in. This is going to be a reading that I'm definitely going to take my time with. I know that normally when you hear me say, I'm going to take my time with this reading, I still kind of just go through the reading really fast. So I'm definitely going to try not to over speak or so the channel message that I got was the shedding of friends, viewer. And with that being stated, some of you who are going to be drawn to this reading, what pulls you to this reading is between you. Do share why the title pulled you to this reading so that you can connect with others of common familiarities so that you can start building, for those of you who are readers, so you can start building and connecting. For others of you, for your personal gain, I need you to be very, very honest with self and be very open-minded to the channeled message. For some of you, you may not even resonate with the channeled reading, and that's okay. Definitely okay. Definitely, if you have something to write with, that would be a good benefit to your own extension. Okay. The channel message again was the shedding of friends. Shedding of friends. All right. If you're new to SGL Spiritual Guide and Light, welcome. Understand this, if you're experiencing a delay, you can always come back to this reading. It will be available to you. All right. I'm not too clear if this is a general reading or a collective. We will see as we receive the messages that come through. For those of you who have already subscribed to the channel, welcome back to SGL Spiritual Guide and Light. May you find the clarity and confirmation and that you seek and need. For those of you who are new, as you can see, this is a new channel, so make sure that you subscribe so that you can be a part of the success and growth of this channel, SGL Spiritual Guiding Light. This is a safe space to be, to evolve, to recognize who you are, who you used to be, and who you've become. I'm going to need you to be present. For some of you, being present is something that you're currently learning. Others of you, this is a new awareness of being present. Okay. There is no wrong answer. There is no wrong decision. For our journeys intertwine, they connect, they align. for we are all one as a collective earth, air, fire, and water. If you do not know, if you do not know what element you are, if you are a water sign, you are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, Cups energy. All right. Um, if you are a Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you are the Pentacles. Okay. If you are the air signs, Sword energy. Okay. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And last but not least, fire signs, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Very, very important. Every element is important. And you are wands. Okay. Let me put some moisture on my hands here. Like I said, I'm going to take my time with this reading. As an intuitive reader, I'm very, very honored and pleased. For some of you, you really don't have that space, or you're not in that head space to receive high vibrational or positive thinking due to your circumstance or situation, or just simply, when you're overwhelmed or you could be drained, and it's just kind of like, no, it's not the time where I want to hear something that I already know. Okay. Overall, you're still trying to have this clarification of a direction, right? Something that steps that work for you, okay, on your journey, on your path, your story. So the overall message here, if you, it's accepting platonic relationships. Okay, that's the overall message within this channel message of shedding of friends. Okay, again, the overall message is accepting platonic relationships. For some of you, the way to interpret that is how to accept platonic relationships, how to maintain a platonic relationship, how do you identify a platonic relationship? Because some of us, we create a relationship and we immediately rush the process of the beginning stage of a relationship. Have you ever heard that saying, we were friends first? Okay, for those of you, if you are seeking a romantic relationship or a commitment of some sort, all right? So accepting platonic relationships, okay? Viewer, I want you to really think about, that's why I said, if you have an extra device where you're able to take notes, do so. You definitely have the time. Believe me, you're not missing anything. You can always go back. Once I figure out how to timestamp this stuff, all right? When that time comes, it'll come. But till then, I'm delivering the message here to you so that you could be successful, okay, on your journey, within your path, all right? So that you could be the author of your story, okay? The author of you, the author of your life, the author of your commitments, okay? I want you to be the conductor of the symphony or the genre of the motivation to your motion in life, okay? So Let's talk about the types of relationships. All right. You can fill in the blank on how you would label your affiliation with an established relationship, viewer, or if you're seeking to create a relationship, what type of relationship do you want? Okay. All right. So I have some examples of, some types of relationships, and that's, a controlled relationship. And we're talking about platonic relationships here, okay? A balanced platonic relationship, a silent platonic relationship, a fulfilled platonic relationships. So as I shuffle this deck, so I'm going to give you a moment to think about that. The types of platonic relationships, of how you would want to affiliate, your affiliation with establishing this type of relationship, or creating, what kind of relationship do you want to create? So basically that's what I'm trying to say. But if you already have established relationships, it's kind of like identifying your current established relationships and then kind of assessing, well, if this is the type of relationships I've already established, then what type of relationships do I want? Are the relationships controlled, balanced, silent, fulfilled? Okay. One-sided, traditional, informal, formal. So take a moment to think about that. Accepting platonic relationships, sheddings of friends. Okay. Everything that you need is in the description box for those of you who have just tapped in. Okay. If you're feeling generous today, thank you. I highly, beyond measure appreciate you and your gift. Okay, of donation. Moving forward. All right. If you already have established friends, be honest with yourself in pertaining to what type of friends that you are already established. So that the reason why I'm going through this, so that as we start pulling your cards, you'll be able to be connected and understand what's going on. Okay. With your successes, or where the gray area is the problem you, or is it poor decision making? Is it, yeah, and if the problem is you, what can you do to change, unbound yourself, or to create some a healthy magnetic connection that will bring balance and fulfillment. Okay. Especially if those of you who are looking for longevity in platonic relationships. If you're an individual and you're just kind of like, one day, some days I feel like I'm a people person, and then some days I feel like, I don't want to be bothered. Be honest and say, your relationships are short term, and then they recycle itself again, through your acceptance or your denials of denying a new cycle to repeat itself. All right. Some of you, it may be hard for you to justify if a cycle should end, or if it should resurface, okay, in your favor. We have the sun here. I love that. Okay. Let's see here. I have some examples for you. It says, if your friend was a horse, viewer. Would you ride them? Ride along beside each other? Or would you walk side by side? I really want you to think about that right now. As we do that, we have the sun, which represents joy, happiness. Also, Leo here. Healthy relationship. It's a very open relationship. No one's character is limited here. Okay. This is definitely the okay of, yes, this is a good time to start establishing healthy platonic relationships for others of you. It's kind of like choose what's fulfilling, not temporarily fulfilling, but something that, because with joy and happiness, you have to create a plan, viewer, to be able to maintain the longevity of this joy and happiness. And by doing that, it's more so you, okay? If you can't be in a good space here of this enlightenment that not only allows you to shine, but you're open to allowing others to shine too. It's like you're the headline of your story, but you're open to allowing other people's to be a headline in your story as well. And they are allowing and accepting you to be a headline in theirs. Okay? The perfect transaction. All right? With minimal adjustments. And that is being open. So, moving forward, if your friend is a snake, okay, do you consider them a bully, a messenger, or an enemy? For those of you who have established relationships, if you have a friend that is a snake, you see them as a snake, do you consider them a bully, a messenger, or an enemy? Okay. These are channel messages here. Okay. For those of you who don't have an established relationships, okay, your mind has said, I'm starting anew. Some of you, it's like, no, I'm not focused on any other relationships, but building a relationship with myself. Take a moment to assess, well, how do you want to have a relationship with yourself? How do you view your own self? Okay. And evaluate with openness, with truth, right? And a way that you can do that is, how do people assess you as a friend? How do people view you? Okay. With no restraints here. All right. Those results should be positive or negative. Okay. Could be both. All right. If they're positive, how do you want to manage that momentum? If they're negative, do you want to modify the relationship with yourself or with your established relationships? Or what is it that you want to call in, all right, an offer of hope to the relationship, or do you want to end relationships? And it feels more so like that short term, someone that really is learning how, someone who's constantly having transformations of needing to heal inner self, inner child. All right. So let's go ahead. So it is safe to accept platonic relationships, okay? Whenever this reading is guided to you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. What's significant about this reading is the sun. All right, let's go ahead and look at the situation. You don't have to look so deep into it, okay? It's about truly what you want, how you see yourself, how you view others. Excuse me. Right? So let's just go ahead. Okay. What is the main situation about shutting up friends and accepting platonic relationships? All right, we have the Eight of Swords and the King of Wands in reverse. It's more so, if this is pertaining to self here, with the Eight of Swords, it's just more so of getting out of upbringings. All right, this really gives me someone who's kind of like submissive and a people pleaser, someone who sees but chooses not to speak up for themselves, someone who kind of just takes the back burner, the back end here. But with this Eight of Swords, if this is dealing with your own personal self, trying to build a relationship right now, you're admitting to self that I'm trying to get in this place and I want to learn how to maintain this joy and happiness. Because some of us, it's not about how you tap into it. It's more so a personal relationship with self. It's like you tap into joy and happiness and then you immediately get burnt out, all because of the Eight of Swords of being submissive when you don't have to be. Okay, and that's where that people pleasing is coming from. And it's more so you still have a space to be the headline within your story. And I feel like many, what it's saying to me, and I'm speaking of self here right now, before talking about establishing the established relationships and are creating some. Right now, we're talking about self. So back to self here, it's kind of like you kind of fade out you as the main character in your life. And it's like the people pleasing of allowing others to take control. Okay. And it's like, the outcome, and it's like, okay, now I'm drained. Now I'm exhausted. Some of you, it's like you're trying to find yourself, and it's because of manipulation or expectations of past pertaining to inner child trauma or things that you experienced, that you've inherited, right? And it's not with intention, it's just something that naturally happens. This could be someone that's shy, okay? This could be someone that, uh, you can speak boldly to yourself, but when you get in the presence of others, it's not about trying to prove that you can speak up to yourself. It's just something about this humbleness of just being able to be in the presence of other people. And it's just like, sometimes we don't know how to enjoy a connection. We kind of attach ourselves to a connection and then we get drained, or the people that we try to attach ourselves to because we think they're good candidates, but they don't, how should I say it? They don't open up their storyline to you so that you could be a part of their storyline. It's kind of like you get closed off. I'm trying to explain it here. So basically with the King of Wands, it's like there's no boundaries. It's like just trying to attach to a new connection without any guidelines or direction, or what's the main focus of why you want to connect with someone, whether it's work, business, family, friends, and this could be like childhood friends, colleagues, association in groups, right? Feeling like you're behind the scenes, but some of you are constantly saying like, one day I'm going to be at the forefront. It's like, well, you already can be. You are the author of your story. You are the co-creator of your story. And it's a process. There is no wrong when it comes to working on self. All of us are on different stages, different levels, different phases. Okay. It's like we're all in school here. Some of us are have traditional academics here, right? Some of us have tutors, some of us don't when it comes to knowing how to affiliate ourselves with others. But for the most part, within self, it's kind of like if you didn't get nourishment at home, it's like, well, how do you nourish yourself? So that's where the people pleasing comes into place. So then there's this disappointment of, oh, now you're burnt out. And it's like, how do I find myself? And it's like the affirmations that we say, we're strong, we're confident, I am a good being. And then when we get out there, it's kind of like, oh, you're having to face others, people's stories, right? I mean, who would not want to be the headliner of their stories? But we get mixed, and sometimes we get lost in the storylines because of all the fast movement. And when we get lost, it's because there's a majority of people that are interconnecting. And sometimes you feel like an outcast, or you may be feeling like someone's laughing at you, or you may be feeling like someone's looking at you, and then anxiety comes in, and then there's this isolation. It's not that. It's just the openness of other people being open with an exchange of accepting everyone being the headline of their stories. Okay. And so with self, it's kind of like boundaries are needed to be established, and knowing what type of boundaries those are. And the first step to identifying those boundaries is, what is the healing areas, the subject matters of what healing of the inner child. I really don't like to always say traumas, because it could literally be, there was a lack of nourishment because there wasn't an authority figure to take time to nourish and mature you. Okay. It's not always has to do with someone physically or mentally abusing our inner child when we were in our infancy. Okay. Now, pertaining to wanting to establish a relationship here that has a fulfillment of joy and happiness, it's more so of, how do you control your submissive self? For some of you, it's like, this is who I am. I'm just a submissive person. And it's like, okay, well then, what kind of boundaries can you create that will connect you with people that are going to accept your submissiveness and not devalue that, make you feel less than? For others of you who have established relationships, it's like, there is this nurturing feeling of you having to always be the one. And it's like, you don't take care of yourself, you take care of everyone else. So it's like, when you're neat, the moment, it's like you make yourself available, but the moment that you pull back and the established relationships need you, there's no boundaries. That's when you're feeling like, okay, do you see me? Is this going to precipitate? Is the energy going to, I've given 202%, but from you, I'm only getting 15%. It's because you've been submissive without any boundaries, and you've made yourself available, overly too available, where they've accepted you in their story, in their life, in their journey, and you've never implanted, your position within their story. It's kind of like you just gave up your rights. Just, you do whatever you want with me. You know what I mean? But I don't want to go too deep within it. I'm just going off of what, I'm supposed to tell you, viewer. So yeah, let's see what a message has come out. So with the Eight of Swords, we have air energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and, it's difficulties. And there's nothing wrong with having difficulties. And how you free yourself from difficulties is accepting those difficulties and modifying those difficulties and saying that I have the power to say I have a boundary. And that it's not about being firm, it's about growing in the firmness. I mean, I don't want something that's not stable. Okay. And with the King of Wands here, it's like it feels like there's no for some of you, it's due to the lack of a father figure, right? And it's kind of like that could have been the despise of certain connections blowing up in your face, because that's what was needed, right? A masculine energy for some of you. Others of you, you're going to need to just go back to the beginning of this reading, the channel reading, to kind of get to the type of relationships, whether it's controlled, balanced, silent, fulfilled. And it's like, after this situation of this experience, the obstacle is with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This is just letting me know there's a lot of negative thinking, okay? The lack of hope for some of you. It's like someone saying, how do I get back to this joy and happiness? And the answer hits you every day. You are the key to joy and happiness. And until you're able to create that formula that works for you, for self, then you birth. I'm hearing you birth. Okay. What do I need to focus on? What do I need to focus on? Because it just stopped right there. What do I need to focus on? Your value, your morals, what your belief system, because 9 deals with, spirit, inspiration. That's what I was saying. Some of you, it's like, do you want a short-term relationship or do you want long-term? If it's short-term, it's kind of like being honest and saying, hey, sometimes one moment I'm willing to be committed to being involved in activities as a platonic relationship, but then I have those days where I don't want to be bothered. So it's kind of like, how do you make it clear with boundaries so that when it recycles again with commitment, successful commitment, then misinterpretation with no boundaries. And it's like the lack of respect of who you are. It's just kind of like no one's taking you seriously here. Okay. That's for some of you. All right. And that's where it brings in of, well, being honest with self of, well, how do people perceive you? Not how you perceive yourself. How do you, for those of you who have established relations, how do you perceive yourself? And then reassess yourself. Is it true? Because it's letting me know that it's not true. What you think others perceive of you is not true. It's what you're perceiving of yourself, and that's what's being projected to you. It's kind of like, let's say you're at an event and you're at a gathering, a family gathering, whatever, you fill in the blank of what it is. And you're standing there and you're amongst a conversation. Everyone's laughing, but then all of a sudden, this Eight of Swords is telling, you're so open, and then your mind is telling you, they're laughing at me. But yet they're looking at you with value and everyone's having a good time, but you're not tapping into it. I don't know why this reading is going in that direction. Okay. Tell me about this 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Matter of fact, just clarify it. So what needs to be focused on is your value, not past experience of what you've been through that causes a transformation. Truly understand your value so that you can mature from what you've been through or what you've experienced from past relationships. Because others of you may feel like there is a certain energy that follows you. For some of you, it may feel like a bullying energy. So you may not feel relatable to others. So you're not fulfilled when it comes to like meeting some type of expectation. It's kind of like, it's giving me like class. Like you may not, if you know your value, you can walk in sandals and be amongst someone that's wearing a $10,000 pair of shoes. But if you know your value, there is no looking over you. It's all about how you're positioning yourself in the story of your path, of your journey. No one can tell your story. It's like someone saying, one day someone's going to know. I'm here to tell you. No one knows. If you're having family issues, it's like no one knows. And we're quick to say, they know what they're doing. No, they're only being the character that they want to be in their story. And unfortunately, they're not being open to allowing you in because you're not seeing your value. You're being submissive with no boundaries. Okay, it's like your mind is playing tricks on you. For others of you, you are in a controlled situation. And it's like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Why am I dealing with this? Because that's what you're attracting. That's what you're accepting. All because the past has not been healed or it hasn't been accepted. It's like there's this energy of being submissive to what has happened, then being submissive to what needs to change. All right. I like this. Pertaining to self, it's like you need to celebrate yourself and you can change the situation at any time. You can change it at any time. If your day is not going correctly, look how beautiful that is. You can change it at any time. That's why it says stop, breathe, meditate, assess. Hold on, wait a minute. My day is not going to go this way. Hey, wait a minute. Your values don't meet up with mine. I'm not going to be submissive. I'm going to be open. Hey, I'll be cordial with you. This relationship's not going to work. That's why it's very important to understand what kind of relationship that you want with yourself. What kind of platonic relationships do you want to create? The established relationships, whether they're negative or bad, if they're negative, how do you want to change it? Because you have the power to do it. You change your side, and if the other party does not modify themselves, you can replace. So I said you have the authority to change. You are the co-creator and the author of your life. And that's why when we have no boundaries, those moments when this is what you need to focus on, your value. Okay. When we can get overly excited and it's like, God damn, every moment I get so excited and everything is going good, then something fucking happens. What the hell? Right? Or someone's lying on me. Oh, they're hating on me. Oh, this bully comes around and now they're creating flying monkeys. Oh, my family's picking on me. You know what I mean? Because the boundaries have not been established. Standing your grounds. Sometimes we have to hold our grounds for others to be able to have their transformation and their experiences. We can tell people what they've done over and over and over and over again. But it's all about our actions, and we can replace them. And if they want to be there, they will be there. What else do I want to say here? Let's go ahead and see. Yeah. You will be successful at your relationships. And I understand that it can be difficulty. Some of you are so tired of the mindset. And I get it. I do. Those triggers, there's something that lacks around you or within you, or there is something that you are refusing to change. And it could be simple as clearing out your environment, removing things, or removing yourself from an environment. Others of you, it's just literally having to, for those of you who have established platonic relationships, I don't know why I was talking about family, but there's people who needed to hear that. Viewer, it's like everyone is different. It's that moment where it's like, people were ordinary. We're amazing. You have people that enjoy negative relationships, and they endure shadow work. They endure shadow energy. Those people are not exempt either. But that's why I said it's very important to identify what kind of relationships that you want, and how do you want to be seen? How do you want to be viewed? I'm not telling you to become a character. I'm telling you, what kind of characters do you want in your life? Do you want it to be longevity, or do you want it to be short term? If you want your platonic relationships to be longevity, and I'm not talking about like established childhood friends where you guys are older and all these things. I'm talking about, this shift of wanting, where those are comfortable relationships, right? Whether it's right or wrong, it's like whatever, right? For some of you, because some of you are submissive, and it's like, whatever, I'm over it. Okay, I forgive you. And then it happens again and again. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about bringing new relationships and learning how to have longevity when you have those moments, because you're going to have those moments. No one is perfect. And if you are a perfect person, please comment in the comments and put your testimony so other people can get some of your advice on how to be perfect. Because being perfect is an expectation that will cause someone to lose their mind. Okay? Expectations is the ignition to anxiety, having to be on your toes. Okay, some of you find joy and fulfillment in always, because some people are competitive, and you're not around competitive people. Okay. I'm going to have to go back to the beginning of this because I'm trying to go back around again, but I'm not being guided to do that. All right, let's see what other messages come out for you. The shedding of friends. Initially, when I got that channeled message, it's like, I was like, okay, God, is we going to be talking about snakes, snaky people, or what is going on? And the message that I got from that was, if your friend is a snake, do you consider them a bully? a messenger or an enemy? If people are thinking you are a snake, do they consider you a bully, a messenger, or an enemy? That messenger can be someone who's highly intuitive, someone who's a high priestess, falling into that they're crazy. No, I'm smart as hell. How dare you? I wish somebody would call me crazy. Now, if I'm, being comical, you're right, I sure am crazy. But if you're telling me that I don't have my marbles and I'm not being present, I'm going to put you in your place in the most nice way that I can. So that I know when I walk away, I'm not going to question myself like I should have said this. Okay? This force of will means that you have all the capabilities that is within you. It's just having to heal the things with you. The more healing, the more progress, the more awareness of favor. Okay? It's like you don't have to work hard. It's just kind of like, hey viewer, what are you doing today? Hey viewer, can I get your number? Hey, can I get your social media? I want to follow you. What do you do? And it's kind of like, some of you don't feel like that some days. And it's kind of like communicate that, get that moment of communicating that, of saying, hey, I'm one of those people that some days, I'm high vibing, and some days, I'm just a little drained, empath energy. All right. For others of you who strongly, there's this thing of getting out of your will and demanding, right? Allowing the will to turn into your favor. All right. And what I mean by that, it's like, how do I say this? The outcome of your platonic relationships. If you were a horse, would you allow people to ride along beside you, or walk side by side you? And it's vice versa of how you would use people. Are you going to ride them? Are you going to ride alongside them? Meaning, if you're riding alongside them, that means there's two platonic relationships, right? That are agreed, right? They're unbreakable, and they know how to manipulate other relationships for their advantage. Okay, taking others along the ride, right? Those who, they do fall into people pleasing. It's kind of like, you have those friends that will do anything for you type thing, when that riding on them type energy. Are you going to walk beside, where everyone is balanced and in unison? Okay. No one is trying to outshine the other. There's no controlling, there's no bullying, it feels too good to be true. But it's true. Balance. I'm also getting, for those of you who, you just, now is not the time, where it's kind of like there's a lack of energy because you don't have any desire here. You have to balance things within yourself. Okay. So that you can get this joy and this happiness. You can have it. You can have it now. Just the simple fact of saying, I'm going to obtain healthy platonic relationships. For others of you, if you are, someone who you are a person, it's giving me like emo energy, medieval energy, people who live in different times. I have some family that, they practice different timelines from the past. That's what they do. I love them for that. They're truly being them in their true selves. And I feel like someone is learning how to adapt in a world that was created for you. And now it's time for you to take authority and co-create your own story here when it comes to platonic relationships and accepting platonic relationships, which is the overall message. Um, Having that boundaries for when something does not align with you, and having the decency and the courage to say, hey, this is not going to work out. And for some of you, you don't have to communicate that. There's just so many ways that you can communicate. You can block them. You don't have to respond back to them again. This is like, going to go check out a group, or going to go see a band, or going to a concert, and you're like, yeah, I don't like it. Okay, leave. Don't make yourself miserable to an experience that you've already told yourself has said, this is not for me. You've experienced it. Now, if you want to be open and just do the supportive, then you're now being open to an experience that what was relatable was the attraction to see, right? And then the end result is, no, this does not align with me, but I'm going to be open and supportive. Okay, got it. You support it doesn't mean it has to be, it's just short-lived. Like I said, I told you I was going to try to be very patient with this reading. Hopefully I did good, viewer. I'm trying to learn how to merge the intuition and the message that I am receiving with the tarot, because I know some of you are tarot readers, and I'm so appreciative for you guys being in here, and we learn from each other. And I thank you for your time, your patience. You can always go back after I conclude this reading. I'm going to stop here, but without any further ado, for the outcome of this extended, it's by request only. You can put it in the body of the email, the portion of the reading that resonated with you. For some of you, it's the overall. So to process your gift, just simply download CashApp or PayPal. That's if you don't have that or whatever. But, thank you for your generosity. Also, try not to forget the attachment to your receipt. To the inquiry, email spiritualguidinglight@gmail.com. And the subject box should show the title of this reading. The title of this reading that was channeled was Shedding of Friends, and the overall message, viewer, was accepting platonic relationships. Okay, for some of you, you were drawn to this reading, and it's family. Okay, and for some of you, it's established relationships that you've already. It's been a long haul, and you're on the verge of like, okay, I need something new here. All right, or some of you, it's just like, no, I want to make this work. Okay. Others of you, it's, you're just in the space of learning who you are, and you're building a relationship with yourself. And that's a wonderful thing. That's the first step, you putting yourself first so that you can be open, right, to allowing others to be a part of your story here on earth. All right. Don't forget, love is kind, love is gentle. Thank you so much for your support. What do I say? I don't even know how to close, because it's just more so of, I'm hearing commitment. Once you make a commitment to yourself, you'll be able to make commitment to others. All right, don't forget, love is kind, love is gentle, and that is you and I.